The Eric McKenna project was formed in March of 2019 by Pittsburgher Eric McKenna. The project is free-form and unscripted, with discussions that are unvarnished and purely authentic. Additionally, each engagement is professionally filmed and recorded at Eric's Boogie Street studio, located in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. Guests are by invitation only and come from all walks of life. Discussion topics include business and entrepreneurship, science, art, music and film, comedy, and other entertainment disciplines. Eric's biography includes Pittsburgh Realty agent, radio broadcaster, speaker, and guitarist. Additionally, Eric is the founder of Boogie Street Guitars, a guitar design and marketing firm which has worked with most notably Dimebag Darrell and Kiss legend Paul Stanley. Since 2023, the Eric McKenna Project podcast is exclusively presented by the Cozza Law Group, Pittsburgh's premier business attorneys.
Okay,
you ready?
This. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well, there's like I said.
Ooh, I can hear you.
I don't even know what we're doing. I do appreciate you doing this.
You know what, though? We're going to have fun.
Yeah. I want to know, how about this? We'll start a little different way. Beyond the podcast and everything else that you have going on, what do you enjoy the most about human interaction? And then don't cop out and say, "Oh, family! Family is wonderful. They're at the top of everything." Yeah. But besides the scripted relationships that we all have in the hierarchy of a family, when you talk about just meeting people in general and you just start to interact with them, what's at the top for you? What gives you the most joy?
I would say that being at a concert kind of venue, somewhere where there's music.
Okay.
And everybody's just so excited and happy and dancing, and you can see the smiles on their face, and you don't even know them, and you're singing along with you know what I mean? You're singing along with the band, and you just feel like
you're feeding off it.
You feel like you know each other because you all like this band, or you all like where you are. You know what I mean? I feel the joy in that.
Okay.
You know, and being at the gym, but for some reason.
It's torture.
Yeah, it's right. It's torture. It's like we have to do
Joy
it.
Joy is torture.
It is, but we have to do it. But I really do find a lot of happiness when I see other people happy and we're all kind of connecting in a level,
Yeah, I get it. And it's, I struggle sometimes to get that. I mean, because I find myself as I've gotten slightly older in life, I become more introverted, and I have to fight to not let that happen. Because I think that's a human condition thing where people, they sometimes can look inward as they get older.
Right.
They don't socialize as much. They don't get out as much. And if you have to make a conscious effort, I think, as you age, to stay as vibrant as you possibly can, and that includes, not only interacting with people, but feeding off of their energy. Because sometimes our own energy isn't enough.
No. But hey, listen, there's times where I'm just like, I need to be alone. I've been I interviewed 2 people or something, usually 2 is enough for me in one day, and I'm exhausted from talking.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear my voice anymore. I just want to relax and just chill out.
Yeah, I do that. I have that problem sometimes when I go through editing a show. It's wonderful because I'm reliving the moment in the interview, so it's real fresh, and I think it helps my memory with that.
Oh yeah, I always forget what we talked about.
I know, but yeah, true. That's a problem too. But because we don't do it live, I produce a finished product there. I get to relive it again, but I have to listen to myself talking again too. And it's like, all of your warts are right there. When you make a mistake on something, and you relive it over and over. I know, over again.
But you know what? It's so funny. We're so hard on ourselves. Why?
Too hard.
Yeah,
I don't know. Too hard. So. Wind it back for me. When was the idea that you wanted to enter the podcasting space?
Well, I, during COVID, now I'm a broadcast major, okay, and a theater minor. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going. We just go.
Hi, people. Hello, my beautiful people. I don't know why my voice changes when I do that. So we're going to go way back. No, when I got out of high school, I always knew that I wanted to be a talk show host, or I wanted to get into the entertainment, wanted to get into TV and radio. So that was my thing. So I, jumped around from Pittsburgh, went to KDKA, TAE, Fox, did a lot of mostly sales, promotions, marketing, Never really got a chance to be on air, but I didn't mind that.
Tough to break through? I mean, is the broadcasting part of it?
A little bit, because, back then, and you're a Pittsburgher, so you've been around, right? So you notice, like, Lynn Cullen, like all, I can't even remember his, Stacy Smith. Yes.
Yeah.
All of those broadcasters weren't going anywhere. They were there for a long time.
They were kind of lifers.
Yes, lifers. So I knew this wasn't the market to, be on air.
Okay.
I was like, hey, I'm fine with that. But then when I got married and started a family, I decided, my husband traveled. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to stay home, raise the kids. And I was missing something. I was trying to work part-time here and there, advertising. And then it's almost like when your kids get a little bit older where you're like, as a mom, you're like, whoa, what is my role?
Right.
I did not know, and especially COVID, that slapped me right in the face, because I was like, wait a second. I know there's more to me than what I'm doing. I was working part-time, doing things here and there, but I felt like Groundhog Day. I felt like every day was becoming the same exact day. And, COVID, I was actually so mad at, and it was nobody's fault. I was just mad that humans were so standoffish, and I'm such a huggy feely and, kissy, well, maybe not kissy, but I just, just love to embrace people and just be like touchy feely and say, you know what, I'm here.
Right.
And I felt that people were so with the mask. They were like, don't touch me. She touched the doorknob.
What were we doing? What were we doing?
I don't know.
Arrows in the grocery store.
I mean, we were walking around with it was scary time. And
what was the scariest thing you saw? What was the scariest behavior you saw during that at the time you didn't go out? Did you see anything outlandish?
Well, probably the scariest thing that I saw was probably when people were just so isolated. And what scared me is the people that were alone, that lived alone.
Yes.
That was the scariest thing, because I knew that they needed that interaction with people. When I was working for a chiropractor, and I would see some elderly people come in, and they would be like, they were just so lonely. And this was like after we started opening things up, we were still wearing the mask. And I felt like they would talk to me about things that maybe they didn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm a good listener. So I thought, hey, wait, I'm a good listener. Why don't I start a podcast and start talking about things that we don't talk about on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, some serious issues to really help people navigate this crazy world we live in.
Yeah. So what you're saying, it was spurred on for you by the circumstances that COVID put us in.
Right. It was the isolation. It was that on top of the, me feeling like, wait, what is my purpose? My two were in college. I had one in high school, and I thought, they don't really need me.
Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just went through it. Yeah.
It's
that's a
weird.
thing. That's a thing. Yeah.
Because you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Well, that's why I was a few minutes late today, Eric, because my boys, they're 22 and 18, and they're like, Mom, will you make me eggs? Because I was making myself some eggs. And I was like, all right. So then the next one comes downstairs. Mom, will you make me some eggs? I'm like, I got to get ready.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So I'm running upstairs to get ready. But I was like, as I was driving here, and you were so sweet, you're like, Jen, don't worry, it's not a big deal.
We're pretty laid back around
I was
here.
like, that right there was so fun for me,
Cool.
to make eggs for them, because your purpose, you don't know. This is what I talked to a women in leadership event last summer. I think it was 250 people were there. And I talked about how my eyes are wide open now. I can see clearly. I think I felt like my life was already mapped out for me. I felt like, I come from a big Italian family in Pittsburgh. You get married, you have other kids, you'd be a stay-at-home mom, And I was like, okay, I guess my career, I went to Westminster College. I guess my career is going to be on hold, because I got to stay home with the kids. I felt like my path was already written, or my book was already written for me, yeah.
Well, what was the light bulb then? Was it a slow burn? Was it one thing, or was it like a?
It was probably the slow burn, but I'm telling you that when that COVID hit, and I thought, you know what if I might not be here next year? I might not be here next month. What am I doing with my life? How am I helping other people? And that's when it hit me right in the face, because I I just love people. I love talking to people. I love getting to know new people. I don't want to sit in my house and woe is me. I want to get out there and do something. It was really hard at first. Like, I don't know how you did it, like learning how to podcast. You're more of a veteran podcaster. Okay. Mine's about 3.5 years. I've been doing it.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't any rules, which I love.
There wasn't like a class.
But there wasn't a class. There was, and I think that's what's not appreciated. Like when people see you doing it, if they like it, awesome. If they're like, what are you doing? I get that too. I don't really care. Yeah. But I think that there's a lack of appreciation for doing it without an instruction manual.
Right. Yes. I'm still learning because I learned on YouTube
every day.
Thank God for YouTube.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
And it's funny because I will have people come up to me or call me or text me, hey, Jen, can you teach me how to do a podcast? I'm like, heck no. I barely know what I'm doing. I'm like, no way. I'm like, get on YouTube, get on the internet and figure it out like I did. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I had to have the same conversation with people too because I said the illusion is we know what we're doing. But all I did was kind of emulate. For me, it was Rogan. I saw the format. It was the format. I hadn't even dived into its content, but when I looked on the screen and I saw, okay, table, 2 microphones, stuff on the wall, or somewhat interesting environment, it just, and that format of just looking at the other person in the eye, and I looked at, I remember I looked at my wife at the time. I said, people, I could do that because people are not talking to each other anymore.
Right.
And I looked around the room, and it happened to be my son was there. My stepson was there, and one of my stepdaughters were there. All of them were like this.
I knew you were going to say that on the.
And I'm looking at my wife, who's always ignoring me. I don't blame her. She's watching television, and the other 3 are literally lounging on, various pieces of furniture like this.
Yes.
And I could do that. I mean, I can. I was like, I had I was my phone too, but I had Rogan's podcast up on that format.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Right.
So then I had to figure it out. And just what microphones and all. But yeah, you're right. There's no instruction.
Figure it out.
There's no instruction manual.
There isn't. And with me, mine's like I look around here, Eric, and I'm just so impressed by you. What you're doing. It's beautiful here. It's
comfortable for me.
Yes.
I don't know about for anybody walking out.
Listen,
I'm OCD, might be in trouble.
Something might be falling in my bag. That pink ball, hot pink is my brand, Eric. Okay.
Yeah.
So that pink ball might be kind of I do have a big Spill With Me Jenny D bag here.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I think that we learn every day. And learning to do a podcast to me was it was satisfying to be like, oh my gosh, I actually hello. The first time I put out content, it was bad. Oh, my audio was bad. Do
you have the stomach to go back and listen to that stuff?
Oh gosh, it's comical. I actually,
mine are bad.
No,
and they're on YouTube for the world to see.
Mine's all audio. When I first started, it's all audio. I just started YouTube about a year ago.
Yeah, do the video.
Yeah, I didn't know because some people don't want to be on camera. But now I tell them, listen.
Then they're not the guests for you then.
Yeah.
You have to draw a line somewhere.
Right. I do tell them, I'm like, look, we're going to be
Is that really the case? Because I think the video, I believe my studio was a draw just out of curiosity for some people to, okay, I'll come down, sit down with you. And then it just started.
Yes.
But I think people are okay with being on video. They might lie like they don't want to be, but I think the human ego is in there. I think they do.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fib.
It is a fib. I know. I'm telling you. They come all decked out. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, right.
See, look right in the human condition.
It is. And it's, when you put yourself out there for people to, and I have that Yinzer voice, that's probably the other reason why I never really made it on air, because when I did first get out.
Is that a thing?
Well,
for local radio or local television?
I feel like there's, because a lot of them would come from another state and they wouldn't have that Yinzer, but I'm like, hey, you can't, talk to us because we have our own little language here. But
interesting.
I remember being, I auditioned at an AM radio station when I first got out of college.
Okay.
You might know it. It's called Wixie 1360.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was in McKeesport. And guess what shift I got?
Midnight.
I got the 5 a.m. to noon on Sundays. Okay, that
to
was
noon. So it was 7 hours.
Yeah, I usually would work. I think that's pretty
Holy
much.
smokes, that's a long shift
But
on radio.
Eric, here's the problem. When I went to go audition, it was country. Back then, I didn't like country. Now I love country.
No one did.
No, I was like, oh my gosh, it's country. But I'm like, I got to start somewhere.
Sorry.
I know. I was like, I got to start somewhere. I guess I got to. So when I went there, I auditioned, back then they just, let me hear your radio voice. And
Did they really say that to you?
They were just, let me hear you, because it was radio.
Yeah.
And I said, they're like, hey, you got the job. I'm like, oh my gosh. Do you know the next week when I got there, they changed the format to sports.
They went talk.
They went sports. And I said, are you? So they had sports all week. The weekends they had
That's right.
Rapid on Racing.
That's right.
They had polka dancing. That's my Sunday. Polka. I forget his name, Sam Pagliano or something.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
there's an audience for it.
I know.
God bless them.
It was like sports. So I had to read from the paper. I'm like, the backyard brawl. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was doing, But you got to start somewhere, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, did you do any TV and radio at all?
I did no television. I did radio, but I did it when I became a real estate agent. The guy offered me a 30 or a 60-minute show down in Beaver on BVP.
Nice.
And I took it. I was like, oh, sure. And that led to a 2-hour gig. Then it was a 3-hour gig. And after a while, there was no format. People were just calling and talking to me. I have no idea what I'm doing, mind you. I never went to broadcasting school. I don't know what I'm doing. And people would call in and and it was really fun. But after a while, it was aimless. Then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I need to take a break. I don't know what I'm doing. And,
Right.
and then I started this. The last year I was there, I started this, 19. So I started a year before the pandemic, and that was really, that was
hard.
It was hard, and then the pandemic hit, and then I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, okay.
Because you must have enjoyed it so much.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you have a great radio voice. You really do.
I got the face for radio.
That's what I used to say about me, too. I used to be like, my hair was too big for the screen. Back in the 80s, I was like, woo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, my hair is not coming down for people, okay? Aquanet is in the hair. It's staying up.
They still sell that stuff?
Yeah, they do. I know. It's crazy. I know. I'm kind of mad right now if you're seeing us smushing my hair, Eric, with these headphones, okay?
It's like, what is it? I will tell you.
I'm just kidding.
But I've never had a male guest ever complain about the headphones.
Do you know, I don't even use headphones. I was using them, but then I only had one set, so I was the only one using them with my guests, and I was like, this is kind of weird, because I was
Make your guests put them on.
I was doing FaceTime with them. I would have a guest on. I knew he was going to make fun of me. Oh, but you're going to.
That's okay. FaceTime's all right.
Oh, but listen to who I had on. Let's see if you had him on, Mira Hodge.
No, never had Marilyn. That's amazing.
Ding for Jenny.
For sure.
He was
he
incredible.
Funny? Was he?
He was incredible. He's just such a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
We talked about brainwash. I really wanted to talk about concussions in sports.
Yeah.
This is when I first started. The poor thing, I had him on. I had my phone up against like this little tiny, how you have those things for the sound. This little, I don't know, what's on your doors and stuff.
You mean like the insulators?
Yes, the insulator.
Yeah. That's all the walls.
I had a little box, and I put my phone there, and the microphone was
that's
inside
actually
there.
smart. That was wrong. That's a good play.
It was, but
that's a good play.
It was just awful. So all you could hear was, him talking, and then I didn't realize this when I first started. I do too much jibber jabber. Like when you're talking, I'd be like, oh yeah, ooh, like almost like fireworks. Wow.
Let me give you a little thing that never goes away because I do it. I have to
I'm like, let them talk, Jenny.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I've learned to do that, but the interactive stuff, like, oh yeah. Oh, you can't do that. It's broadcasting 101.
I know.
Shut up.
I was terrible. I know. I don't know. I have to learn to still
You do.
learn to do
Yeah.
that.
And you know what? My thing is now, Jenny, if I never get there, so what?
I know.
I made improvements. I look at those early shows like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it got progressively better, and the next ones will be even better. That's just how I look at it, right?
You have to have that starting point, and you have to. And I told you, like, every day I'm learning.
Who was your first interview?
My daughter.
Smart.
I had my daughter.
Keep it
on.
local and
Yeah.
safe.
I know, right? We were in my closet. Okay, my closet full of clothes. Right? I have too many clothes. I might be a hoarder. Shh! Don't tell anybody. Anyway,
I can see that.
Shh. You just met me. Damn. But I had like blankets up, and then I had my computer at GarageBand on. Had my microphone connected to the computer. Had my headsets in, and she didn't. And we talked, it was called Me and My Girl Talk Candid. And I'll tell you what, if I could I actually think I could probably take that episode and run it through AI and
Do it.
And it would be better quality, because I've tried that with other ones. But we talked about how, like, when she was in middle school, she was not eating.
Wow.
She was not eating.
That's
because
heavy.
because she was like, and I said, oh my God, like in the interview, I'm like, because we're just talking like we are here. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lexi, is that my fault? Because I always talk about dieting. Like, I need to diet. I need to take a diet. I need to diet. I need to lose weight. So I'm like, oh my gosh, did I do this to my own daughter to make her feel like, but she said that when she was in middle school, just like the kids around her, it's tough.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. Girls in middle school, it's really tough. I hope it's not tough anymore, but, I hope these girls just talk about it, talk about things. I've talked about eating disorders before, but she said that she goes, Mom, I did notice. I said, and I was, didn't know you were throwing your lunch away. So it was one of those ones, and a lot of people listened to it. And I was like, okay, well, I think people want to hear real people, real stories.
That's it. And that was real apparent in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I go, yeah, it was, okay, Eric, you got this little studio and you got all the accoutrements, and it's bizarre and weird, but really professional at the same time. But in the end, it's going to come down to what are the quality of those conversations.
Right.
That's the thing. And what are you getting out of it? And then I got real selfish. Because in the beginning, I thought, I want to monetize this. I'm going to do this. The business person in me starts clicking.
Yes.
And after about 8 or 9 months, I had a couple people on that were super nice. But would I have those people on today? No, because I just wasn't interested in them. I was doing a dog and pony show. I had turned this thing that I was loving into a little bit of a dog and pony show.
Right.
And it wasn't. And I'm okay with learning about things that are fascinating, but if I'm really not bought into the person or what they're doing,
right.
What am I doing?
Exactly. And that's the thing. You have to have that goal. And I was really struggling too, as well. With depression, anxiety. I was really struggling during COVID too.
I bet. Yeah. How could you not be?
Right.
I think everybody had touch.
I think everybody was just, but I was really feeling like I can't be the only one out there feeling like this. And I thought, I have to start this. Like, come on. I was like, spill the tea. There was too much spill the tea. So I was like, all right, spill with me, Jenny D.
Yeah, it worked.
My last name is DiLucia. Uh-huh. And I was like, just spill with me. Like, let's talk about things like mental health, addiction, cancer. We talk about things that nobody else is talking about, because I feel like that if I can help one person, that was my whole goal when I started this, because everybody around me is like, how are you going to make money? And I said, you know what? And they're like, oh, it's your hobby. It must be. I'm like, no, I mean, I really wasn't, I'm not a business person. I'm more of like, I like to entertain and be a part of, And I said, I just want to do this because I know it actually, in retrospect, Eric, it actually helped me heal me.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, I was listening to other stories, and then I was like, oh my God, their stories are so, like this, poor woman, I was like, oh, why am I crying the blues about me?
Perspective.
Yes. It was putting life in perspective. And I thought, you know what? But you can't compare. This is somebody else told me this. You can't compare, like, whatever you've gone through, your past, because everybody has a story. That's what I believe in.
Sometimes 5 or 6.
I know, right? And they're still coming. Do 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 do. We should have a movie. We should make a movie. But no, it's just you realize that people are struggling and they're having their own struggles.
Yeah.
And don't dismiss your own struggles. Because when you try to compare, like, oh, why am I crying the blues about something, this or that, when this person over here has lost a loved one, or you know what I mean? Like, so I realized when I was doing my podcast and talking to my guests that that's their story. I'm here to deliver it, to bring awareness, education, entertainment. I want people to know, guess what? You're not the only one out there. And here's help. Here's resources.
So have you given any thought to maybe still doing that format or doing what you enjoy there, but also just crafting shows that are more like what I do, just literally getting interesting people in without any kind of particular, I don't know, direction, and just letting it go.
Yes.
Because it gets crazy if you do that.
I love
And
that.
people
I love
like
crazy.
it. People like it. That's what I mean. Like, I think your personality would yield.
Yes.
It would lend itself to that kind of open forum.
Oh, I would love
You
to
know?
go live because it's funny
I
because
don't know about live.
I know.
but
Hello.
You can do live.
I
But I
know.
mean, I am set up to do live. Rocco and I do live every Tuesday.
Yes.
But live is different. And that's why
Yes.
like radio is way different than podcasting. Would you not agree?
That's true. It is. Yes. And what I do a lot of live Facebook feeds.
I
I'll get
know.
on there and I don't even care. If I mess up, I mess up.
That's
And
okay.
If
Yeah.
I'm hitting the floor with the camera, but I'm like, hello, here I am. I mean, it's, I want to be authentic. I want to be real with my people. I want them to be real. A couple years ago, this woman asked me to be on her podcast and it was just audio. She was like, she had all the questions she was going to ask me. She was like, you don't talk when I talk. It was so boring. And I was like, and I wanted to say to her, like, I'm like, this is not how I do it. And I'm like, you know what? To each their own. This is how you want to do yours.
It's too structured.
Yeah, I don't like structure.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
either.
not here to.
Not in this format.
No, I am here to be real with people
Yeah.
because I want people to be real with me.
And you are. I that's why I would think, adding this type of format to what you're doing. Like, you do your shows based upon these health points and you bring experts in, and then mingled in between those shows could be, it could be complete free for all. Someone that you've already connected. It could have been a prior guest. And this time that they're in, you touch on a little bit of what you talked about prior, but then all of a sudden you're off.
Yes.
You're off to the races.
Yes. And I love that because a lot of the podcasts that I do, it'll spiral into, oh my gosh, I know that person. No way. That's my cousin. Like it turns into like, wow, we have a lot in common. Or, I end up reflecting like, wow, that was a great podcast. Like there'll be ones where I'm like, oh, this one's kind of boring.
Yeah, they're not all home runs.
No, I'm like, and I could not like, sometimes I don't do my homework, which I should, because I had to tell probably about 4 people, 3 or 4 that I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't air this. This is my name,
Wow.
And
I've had 2.
Okay. Well, one was he was bashing the police. I'm like, dude, this is not the platform to do that. Like,
okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
I am not. And the other one was just, she was mostly bashing like her family and naming people. And I thought, I can't do that. Like,
No.
I want to talk about your struggles and what you're doing now that you've, let's not put names
Of
into
course.
this because.
You think we would know that, though?
Yeah,
No?
I know. So maybe it was only just 2. Yeah. But I lost sleep because I'm like, I got to tell them I can't do it. And I felt bad about it because, we sat there and we talked for like 45 minutes in here. I had to tell them like, I'm sorry, I can't air this. This is not what I authentically, like, this is not how I want to do my podcast.
Not a reflection on you.
Yes. It's a reflection.
But ultimately
of
it
my
is, but
right.
that didn't reflect well on you.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. Like I have a disclaimer on my website. I have people fill out and stuff like that because they're like, I don't want anybody suing you because if they're talking about their ex and their ex calls and says, oh, okay, Jenny D, you talking crap on me? I'm like, no, it wasn't me. I swear. It's like, get that off the air. But yeah, you worry about that because people are so happy,
Yeah, I guess I mean, Rocco.
Oh yeah,
Rocco handles that for me, but
I'll call Rocco.
But I don't give a lot of concern to that. Only probably because I'm just too cavalier. I I need to understand that happens. I get that. It does.
But not with the format that you have, Eric.
Well, okay. I'm not asking you to name names, but can you tell me anything about the worst podcast you had?
The worst podcast I had.
That you did. And at the end, you were like, oh, my God.
Yeah. I had this woman on who I was friends with. And I was like, she is, I'm like, oh, we'll have so much fun. We'll talk about, our kids. And she was so monotone. And she was so boring. And she was one word. Like, I'd ask her a question like, so why do you think there's dance moms out there? Or why do you think, because that's when that Abby, we were talking about that. I was like, let's talk about dance mom. And she would be like, yeah, I think they're not that great either. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, and then she's like, one word. I was like, oh my gosh.
Here we go.
So I just said, I was like, hey, the audio, it didn't come through. It didn't record. Because I was like, I can't air this.
I know. And that's a tough spot to be in.
It is. Did you have one too?
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't have anybody that was, maybe I did. I had an author on one time, a local author. And I read his book and I thought it was absolutely hysterical. And that's why it had a really weird, quirky beat. And he actually ended up getting a pretty good publishing deal. But he was very quirky, and I knew that going in. I had done my homework. I knew what was coming in. And he wasn't real talkative. And I had to figure it out on the go. And it got to where it needed to be, but it was not comfortable. But the worst one I had, and I'll tell you off air who it is. I'm not calling names here.
It's a secret.
But I ended up getting someone I couldn't wait to talk to. They were a local television personality, but they also had their own talk show. And it was, I couldn't wait. Mm-hmm. They were still doing their thing in a different, maybe it was online or something. I don't know.
Right.
I couldn't wait to get in here. And then when he came in, and I told him when I got here, I said, hey, you're a seasoned professional. I'm an amateur at this stuff. I don't want an interview. I want a conversation. And he's like, oh, fine. And I said, the only thing I ask is it was very in the beginning, before the pandemic, believe it or not. And I said, I just don't do politics. You want to touch on it, but I probably won't reciprocate. I'll try to move the conversation somewhere
I don't
else.
Like politics.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't the place. You can get elsewhere. We're not here. I understand. It's volatile out there. We don't want to talk politics. That guy went into an anti-Trump.
Yikes.
That went on for an hour and a half.
Are you kidding me?
And he's very well known, and he's maybe 65, 70 years old, polished, but he was so politically bent to the left.
And then what do you do? Like when he's
I played the game. I did it all.
Yeah.
And then I even produced the show, went home, edited it, spent the hours editing and the whole thing. And then he jumped on my Facebook page the night I launched the podcast on YouTube and Facebook. And
oh no.
And he got on there and got into a fight with someone on my wall, which is odd, but he carried. So I took it down. I said, I can't. Number one, I don't tolerate anyone being abusive on my wall. You want to fight with someone on Facebook? Don't do it around me. Not on my page.
Right.
I took the whole thing down, and I just I was so disappointed because I was so looking forward to meeting the person and having that kind of conversation. And I was new at this. I'm like, that's a score.
Oh yeah.
Like when Paul Alexander, he's become a friend. So when he comes on occasionally, he has this like every year he comes on. But I mean. That to me, Chris Winter from DVE, when I get a chance to have her on, it's important to me because those are the people in town who, that's their career.
Right. I look up to them. Right.
Of course. And they think enough of you to come and sit. I mean, to me, that's like a reaffirmation that I'm doing something right.
Exactly.
That's all. And I was so looking forward to talking to this gentleman. Man, he just, I learned a lesson. Yeah. I had to really, and how much time do you, well, here's one for you. This is so good.
I'm doing like the Jaws. Dun-dun. I just watched it over the weekend or 2 weekends ago. And
we're going to need a bigger boat. That's all I can remember.
I know. It's like Shark Week or something's going. I'm like, that my kids, nobody understands. I'm sorry to switch the subject.
No.
But when we were in the movie theaters, do you remember when it was 3D and we were wearing those glasses and like it looked like Jaws was coming right out of the screen at us?
Yeah, that was like the late 70s, early 80s. Yes, I do.
They're
Jaws,
like 3D.
was
Like,
it Jaws 3 in 3D or something? Or
was
Jaws
one of
2 in 3D or something? Then there was the Amityville Horror in 3D. I had nightmares for like, I was a kid.
Hey, I still can't go in the ocean. So every
You can't even put your feet in?
Please. Okay.
Really? You
know
can't
he's
even like
out
walk
there.
along
I know
the
he's
edge of
looking.
the water?
Nope, he's looking for me. He's looking for. I won't even go in Deep Creek. You know, I'm in the
crap.
lake. Like I know he's here. I know he's
Well,
here.
I don't think he's in Deep Creek. I mean,
Hey,
there may be
never
snakes
say
in there.
never.
Maybe snakes in there, but
So that's why every time you say something, I'm like dun 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 dun.
oh man!
Wait, is that how this sound goes?
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
real fast. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, and then he's like comes out of the water. Oh god.
Didn't they scare us with like the next one was when we were kids? It was Orca. Remember that movie? It was like the next one, the copycat movie, and then there was.
I don't know. I know.
Long
right?
time ago.
Right. Yeah.
But that's my worst scenario. Is and I was so disappointed. I thought this was going to be a really score.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And, and I think that, like you said, we don't know until they sit down with us. We don't know where we're going. Sometimes the way the conversation, the way the topic goes is not exactly what you thought it was going to go. And then it's kind of like,
sometimes
like we
it's
didn't even talk
wonderful.
about the issue. I know. Right.
And that's why I think an open forum would be fantastic. I think you get a lot of joy out of that because you'll start here and then end up at the end of the night. You're like,
I love that.
wait, what?
I know. I love that. And I always tell people and they're always like, John, I don't feel like I'm educated enough to I don't know. I feel like some people are just the way they articulate. I'm just like, I mispronounce words, and I
get over that real quick.
I know. I got to stop doing that because I get really intimidated by.
And you don't really want, and if someone is very, like, case in point, we did a panel show, Rocco, myself, two other business folks that we had, Stan, super great, very polished, very articulate speaker.
Yeah, that's the word.
Articulate speaker. And I'm like, wow, that guy sounds great. I don't think he realized he sounds really great on recording.
Right.
But his dialect and all that doesn't intimidate me to where I just can't, say, just let it, go right at him. It's like, I'm saying I've learned not to let that intimidate me.
Right.
It took a while.
I'm still learning that. Yeah. Well, sometimes they'll use words that I don't know what they mean, and I don't want to say, "Hey, what does that mean?"
That makes a great podcast moment. There's a lot of words that get bounced on this show that I don't know what they are.
It's the worst. Oh, you're gonna laugh, and any of my guests are listening. I mispronounce people's last name.
Oh,
I don't know why. They'll tell me, and for some reason I hear it, and then I say something else. And then they'll be like, "You've been calling me the wrong." I'm like,
you got to do it phonically. You got to write it down.
I do. So
we learned phonics in school for a reason. I never paid attention, but it's
so
there.
Now, Eric, I'm like, introduce yourself to the listeners and the viewers.
See, now you're learning. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, I cannot. There's just no way.
Okay, so let me ask you this one.
I'm ready.
Is your show by invitation only?
Well, I get a lot of people that, can I be on your show? Can I be on your show? I get a lot of emails and it's a lot of people that wrote books. It's their marketing person. Like, I would like to have my client or whatever on your podcast because they wrote this book about blah, blah, blah.
How do you handle that?
Sometimes I just ignore it. Sometimes I have, I just hired a marketing lady. An analyst.
Smart.
Yes, she's great.
And eventually you'll fire her.
Not
Not because of anything she does, but you'll realize I can do this on my own.
She's awesome. But you know what? She's so awesome because the things that she does, I can't do because I'm not. I don't do the business side. She pushes me to do more. Like Jen, she's like, stop doing things for free. I'm like, well, I don't care.
Right.
I don't, because I'll just show up at places and
she's right.
I'll go to a boutique and I'll buy something. I go, hey, let's do a reel. I'm going to promote your business. She's like, you need to get paid for those. And I was like, oh, okay.
Or maybe you do need her.
I know. Thank you. Eric's like, shoot. Now I'm getting to know Jenny D. She's like, she's free, people.
No, it's if
I'm a cheap date.
They got to hold your feet to the fire. So it goes back to knowing your worth.
People
right?
do take advantage of you, though.
Yeah. Oh well. So this show is absolutely by invitation only, and some people think that's crass. Some people, I've heard all kinds of negativity about it. And it's okay. It's just they're not doing it. It's my name on it,
right.
And if I'm going to invest my hours of my life, because I've only got so many,
exactly,
then I want to be fully engaged. And I'm not doing infomercials for people because I'm not a pro bono service.
Right.
If you want a commercial made for you, then go hire professionals and do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I get it.
You know, what's the angle? But if I think someone's interesting and they're successful in many different ways, if they're interesting, I want to talk to them. Then I'm invested.
Yes.
I'll send the invitation out.
I had an invitation.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I want to be. So what I'm saying is, I want to be where I'm at all the time. Right. I don't want to be in a position where I feel like I'm doing this because I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, is this what I'm supposed to do? And the thing is, no, I'm not supposed to do anything outside of what I want to do.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's so true. It is. You have to kind of, when you were saying about a business plan, I've had so many people say, "What's your business plan?" I'm like, so I just tell them, like, listen, I just would love to have my own talk show. Like we're doing right now. Just sit around, talk about topics, talk about different things, get to know, and talk about things that are happening that can help people.
Certainly.
Things like that. So I feel like that's my long term, maybe to have a studio, maybe to have, where people, and it's got to be hot pink. It's got to be all hot pink.
I don't think there is any pink in there outside some lights.
I don't know if that's red or pink.
This thing keeps changing.
I know. It's like my eyes are going like,
for your curveball. Like, see, the idea that's how I mesmerize the guests.
I knew it.
So they're not as confrontational. And
you are in my style. I feel like this is like woo. The lights here. Oh, Eric, you got great taste. I'll tell you what.
There is no taste. This is just a bunch of crap I threw up on the wall.
I like
and
crap.
no writer.
I told you I'm a hoarder.
But it's like no writer or wrong. I just throw stuff up and there it is.
I already told you I'm a hoarder. I don't care about crap everywhere.
Well, it just can't be. The thing is, no one's going to duplicate it. It's it's impossible to duplicate.
No. But I have a question for you. So when you started your podcast, this to me is the hardest thing about being a podcaster is putting yourself in a category because the genre, all right? There's crime, there's comedy, there's blah, 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 blah. When I first started, I was a podcast for everyone about everything. Like, how stupid is that? Talk about broad, right? Because I talked about everything.
I'd be a little broad.
I talked about dating with my daughter.
That's awesome.
Back in the 80s compared to what she's dating,
I do shows like that.
Those are hilarious. And then, then I'll do one serious about, someone who died by suicide or something like that. So then I'm all over the board, all over the spectrum. So just recently with my marketing lady, my Callie, she's like, Jen, let's kind of try to narrow this down because I was in leisure. I was in leisure. That's where I went.
Yeah. I think that's where I sit too.
I didn't know where to go. So my new tagline is real people, real stories, heartfelt conversations with Jenny D.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I put myself in self-improvement. I didn't even know there was one. I just changed it to self-improvement. But
interesting.
Where do you lie? Because then I put education too. Because
I think it depends on. So each show, when I upload them to the interwebs, you have the ability to change that category per show.
Oh.
So if the show was like this,
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I have to decide based upon the guest and the content that was created, what niche it fits. But as a now, maybe under my channel, orchestration somewhere there is asking me, and I don't even know. Yeah. I literally don't. I know it sounds crazy. We're primarily a Facebook show. YouTube is a tough nut to crack. I don't pretend to understand it, but it's a great place to deposit all of my shows, for free.
Yes.
You see what I mean? But how they do it, the audio thing just got legs during the pandemic, and I didn't understand how, a show about nothing. It's like it's a Seinfeld moment. It's a show about nothing. Yeah. People just want it. And I think without the pandemic, I might not be doing this still. I don't know. Right. I don't know.
But you're like me. I find it so interesting to meet people and sit down with them and just really. And I've learned so much. When I was saying my eyes were wide open last year when I did that speech in front of, I was so nervous. I was like, you know what? I'm just, because I'm telling all my guests to be real. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what, Jen? You need to be real with your people. You know, and I talked about my struggles, and I talked about, you know, things that have happened. It just kind of really resonated and kind of made me feel like, come on, you're not the only one. And I think a lot of people viewed me, oh, she's got the perfect life, you know. No, it's not like that. And then that's why I wanted to really focus on, like, you know, we're all going through something. And when I was talking about my eyes wide open, I realized too, making eye contact with people. Right?
So it's a lost art.
It's really, and I'm really listening. Like I'm not thinking about like, I got to go shopping. I got to go to the grocery store. My mind is now so much clearer because I'm invested in talking to my guest.
That's yeah.
Right?
And that's the benefit that I think can rub off for a podcaster's life if they're paying attention. Mm-hmm. If they're going to last, they're going to have to learn how to be better listeners. And they're going to have to learn to engage with that other human across the table in some capacity, and that will carry over. It carries over into my business life. It carries over into my family life. It carries over my relationship with my wife and with all of my stepkids, my kids. Anyone of significance that is around me a lot will benefit from the skill set that I was forced to learn in order to do this correctly.
Right.
Does that
it's
make any
true.
sense?
No. I get what you're saying, because I feel like that too. Like I've learned so much about me and about being in the moment and realizing that like what this person is here and they're being so vulnerable and they're telling me things, you know, and I realized too, I'm an empath. You know, I cry with my guests, you know, I laugh with my guests. I try to be in that moment with them. And I'm like, this is like no judgment here.
Right.
This is safe. This is a safe zone to talk about, you know, things that you may feel that somebody's going to judge you. And, you know, I had a lot of serious conversations, a lot. And, you know, it was hard. I think a lot of people maybe shied away from listening to them because they didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. You know, but it was, and then what I realized too, Eric, is I was having my guests do all the talking. And I was just the person just doing the, yeah.
See, I think when you're doing this and you get skilled at it, you'll know when it's your turn. In the beginning, you're not real sure. It's like this dance, like this awkward dance, because you haven't done enough of them.
Right.
Because I think humans have the same tendencies. Regardless, you know, but you have to do enough of these interactions before you start to understand the dance. And I'm still learning. I mean, I'll be learning. If I do 1,000 shows, I'll still be learning. But I'm better now at that dance than I was in show 5. Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
The things that we've learned. And I feel like that we're learning as we go in anything in life. And like you said, your relationships are better after you like have a guest on that talks about something that maybe you're struggling with, and 100%. You're like, wait a minute, this person's doing this, and then you realize, wait, I should be doing this. It just really, it takes a village to kind of come together as a community, you know, as Americans, as
She sings.
I do sing too. I'm a wedding singer. But not anymore, because now I sound like Marge Simpson. Like I smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes, but my voice is like really like. You know what?
Stand-up comedy.
You know what?
It's a decade.
Somebody told me I should get into. This was years ago. That 1-800-CALL ME.
Hey, phone sex lines. I bet you most of them are still housed by housewives. I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing.
I was like, listen, I would be that person. Let's go. Come on. I don't have time for this. Are you done yet? Oh, geez, is this rated PG?
That's great. I don't know what we are. I don't know what we are. No, I
podcasts. You can just be real. You know.
I hope. Yeah, that's what I want. And you mentioned you had a guest who was not willing to talk. What about the guests that you have where you want them so badly to be real there, and they do get there, but it takes a while? Yeah. How do you handle that? Are you patient enough to wait for it? Because I had to learn to be in the conversation. I was like,
I know.
You don't want to reach down her throat and grab the words.
Right. Yeah, because there was I really thought that this one subject was going to go away. Like she was going to talk about something that was really personal. And she never got there.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I was like, when we were done, I'm like, well, wait, this is not exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I still aired it, but I don't want to push somebody into saying something they don't want to say.
Of course.
And I have edited, like some of my podcasts. I don't edit them now.
Yeah,
I don't edit
I'm almost there. I just, at the same time, now, help me understand this. Are you still doing everything live?
I pre-record on GarageBand.
Yeah.
And then I upload it to Podbean, which is my platform, and then it goes to Spotify app.
Yeah.
And I'm nationwide, okay?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm all about my Pittsburgh people.
Of course.
I do.
Well, I am too. It's a Pittsburgh show. It's a Southwestern PA show.
Right. That's most of my following. But I have people in Turkey and Australia.
And isn't that amazing?
Canada. Yeah.
That's the thing about it.
I love seeing that.
I'm very curious as a person, but I don't know if I would intently look out a random podcast in Uruguay and then get invested.
I know.
But people do.
Well, okay, so this, I know.
It's crazy.
This was so weird. Okay, so my cell number's out there. Please don't call me. I don't have time. But it's out there, right? So I had this guy call me. This was like maybe a year and a half ago. And he's like, hi, is Jenny D there? And I was like, hold on, please. I had to change my voice. Hello, this is... I have to be real. Come on.
That is great.
Like, hello, this is Jenny D speaking. And I pretended that was my secretary, I did get another line, but anyway. So I was like, this is Jenny D. And he was like, oh, I'd love for my wife and I to be on your show. And this is what we want to talk about our marriage and how we got back together and how love, we're going to start our own podcast about love and reconnection, blah, blah, blah. And I said, sure. First of all, hi, because they were from like North Carolina or North Dakota, somewhere.
Okay.
I go, how did you hear about my podcast? He said, Listen Notes. And I go, what's Listen Notes? He said, it's ranked you as one of the top podcasts. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And that's a great thing about it.
I have no idea how that happened.
It happened though.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. And
I was so excited. I was like,
did you have them
listening.
on?
It fell through. It never did work out. They were trying to start their own podcast, so I don't think they even needed me anymore. They used me, Eric.
Yeah.
For my brain.
Well, have you ever done a podcast and then feel like you were used? How about that? Has that happened yet?
I haven't been on a lot of podcasts. I just been on a couple.
No.
Oh, you mean on being a guest?
No.
Oh.
Has somebody used you in your podcast?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to out them. I'm just saying, has it happened to you? Were you cognizant of it? Did it make you feel uncomfortable, or were you a little pissed off?
When I first started, I had a woman come on, and like you said, people think it's an infomercial. Like, let me talk about, I'm selling. I don't even know what to be selling. I'm just, for instance, Sabiko jewelry or some type of jewelry, right? Makeup or whatever. She was talking about that she was doing like her 1 minute spiel but it turned into like 30 minutes about her business. And I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know, like, this blush is going to look really nice. And I'm like, that's not why I did this. And I almost was trying to push things out of her, like, where'd you come from? Why'd you get into this? What did you do before? So I did grab some other things out of there, but the beginning I was like, oh God, no, this is terrible. I'm like, all she's talking about is like, her, what she's doing. And like, her, what are those called? Those, when you have that business that you go to.
Multi-level marketing?
Yes.
Yeah, multi-levels, this pyramid thing.
The pyramids. Yes. I'm like, this is not the podcast for that, people.
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you. And that's when I learned. I was like, all right. Because then I tell people, now I finally got to the realization because of my Kelly to say to people, if you want to advertise your business, then you're going to have to pay for that.
Yeah, then that's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation.
Absolutely.
But if we're
maybe
going
it's good that you're having that separation. So yeah.
Because there is a lot of people out there that have a story, that have a business, and a lot of people think that's interesting. Like I had one.
To them, it's the greatest thing, the greatest story ever written.
Yes. They're like, I didn't know you came from Colorado and you used to be this and now you're this, so people find that interesting to learn about people.
Right. You want to put the human element at the forefront and let the rest naturally come in.
Yes.
That's the best way to do it, as opposed to leading with the trinket they're trying to market.
I know. I was bored.
Yeah. I had, mine wasn't quite exactly like that, but I had a local musical artist who was pretty big in a genre of music that I have no idea about. I don't enjoy it. I don't think about it. But I figured, hey, I learn on this thing, right? And the guy's pretty well known, so it comes in. And then he went off and berated why he didn't win something or some special awards. And this went on. Now, first off, the guy's super cool. I like the fact that he came in, and I didn't think we got along terribly, but when we were done, I was like, he tried to take this down a road that just, I can't. And I published it, and it's fine, and he's still doing his thing. He's still pretty popular, but the bent that he wanted to use my show for.
Right.
And then I was just supposed to be appreciative that he would come down and grace me with his presence. I learned right there to never let that happen again.
You control.
I really want to be there. I have to really want to be there. And that's why I have this thing called The Notebook. I've had it since I started 2019 of all the people and potential guests people that are interesting to me.
Yes.
And I will look at it periodically. How does it fit into where I'm at in my life at the moment? What I've been talking about recently has to fit.
Yes, I love that.
And if it fits, I make the call. I send out the invite. If it doesn't fit, that's fine. But at least I'm in control now.
Right.
I won't let that happen to me again. I won't let my show get hijacked.
I was just going to say that. Yes. Good for you. We put a lot of time and effort into what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, for someone to come in and just kind of just think that this is their platform, this is their way of like, hey, I'm just going to use you for, no, that's just not how it's going to be. And, I always say too, my listeners, my viewers, who the people that do follow me, and I appreciate them, is that, they're not looking for that either. They want me to put out that content that's authentic, that's coming from me and not coming from someone who just wants to like, woe is me and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No crying. There's no crying in podcasting.
I've had some shows that made me cry when I would go edit them. But not often, but
I know. It's like,
yeah, I love it though.
It's
I love it.
I do too.
I know it's addicting.
I can tell
isn't it?
you love it. Yes.
Isn't it addicting?
It's so addicting.
I know.
I could sit here for hours. We could be sitting here talking for like a whole weekend and I'd just be like, get some pizza in here. Let's just keep talking. Because I'm like, I know that, there's maybe, I always say if there's one person, but I know there's somebody out there that's listening that's saying, you know what? Because I was 49 when I started this. Mm-hmm. We're not going to say my age now. I should have said 49. I should have said 39. But anyway.
I know. You gotta adjust your mode of operandi.
Darn it. But I always said I'm just going to be real. Darn it. But, I always tell people, like, it's never too late. Start something. You want to start a podcast? Start a podcast. You want to start, doing something that you like, learning how to play the piano? Do it. What's stopping you? Life's too short. I keep saying, I'm going to get a tattoo that says, oh, you didn't see my tattoo. Look at this. It's a microphone.
Oh, get out.
Jenny D right there, baby.
Look at you.
Yeah, it's like a little kid put it on. And then I have my kids' initials. But I have three. I would never think I would have tattoos. I have 3 of them. I'm like, who cares? Do what makes you happy.
Bingo. There's not enough of
you
that
want
going
purple
on.
hair? I have purple hair.
I just want hair.
My husband's bald too.
I'm like, come on,
bald
man.
is beautiful.
It has to be because there's no other choice.
Hey,
we don't have
think
any
about
other
how
choice.
much money you save in shampoo and conditioner.
I would gladly pay the shampoo if it would magically grow back. I used to love my hair.
No, Eric, I can't even imagine you. I think you look great. There's some guys that just pull it off. It looks great on you. Seriously.
Luckily, God didn't give me a lumpy head. I've seen some guys with some
cone head.
lumpy, or they got like a dent over here. And luckily, So far.
What was Dan Aykroyd? What's
The
it called? The
Coneheads.
Coneheads. You don't want that head.
No. Yeah, I can see why some guys really want their hair back when they like, what happened to your head?
It's actually worse when you're like, my husband was receding, and my cousin's like, she's a hairdresser. She's like, Alicia, she's like, let's just shave it. I'm like, oh. This was like when we were like way back in our 30s. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to have a bald head that's going to be freaky to touch. And now it's like, I love it. Anytime I see anybody, I'm like, I love it. I think it looks great.
Yeah, it took a while to finally go over that hill and admit it to myself. But see, because the thing with me was, like, you know, I had the bald spot. The receding wasn't too bad. It was just, so everything I do, I was making videos and things for the guitar business in the 2000s and the late 90s. Everything looked great because it was from the front. And then I had my daughter, she must have been like 7 or 8 or 3 or 5. She grabbed my little portable, this is like before, you know, phones could do this. I had a little portable video camera.
Yeah.
And we're at McDonald's, or I don't know where we were, but she's up there and standing on the bench and she's going like this, videotaping. When I get home, I take her back to her mom. I get home.
Oh, no.
I want to watch what she did. What was she doing with my camera? And I see the back of my head. Like,
Oh my God.
I had this big bald spot. I'm like,
You're like,
how come no one told me? How come no one told me? And I started asking people. I asked my wife at the time, and I asked my folks. I'm like, does someone want to tell me?
they probably thought you already knew.
Oh, yeah, we just thought you knew you had a bald spot. You know, I'm like, and my wife at the time was a hairstyrist.
Oh my God.
I said, you've been lying to me all this time.
Just get that spray.
She goes, you
that spray
couldn't
in
tell. Remember that Ron Propeel or whatever his name was? Yeah, but she goes, you can't tell when you wash it that like that there's skin up there. I go, no.
You're getting that burnt too.
She goes, well, I don't care. I said, well, obviously, thank you, but were you going to tell me I got a massive bald spot? I would just shave it off. I mean, that was my excuse that I did not know.
It's
I
funny.
did not know the veracity of my spot.
And it just kept getting bigger. But you know what? That's funny. The insecurities that we have in life. Who cares? Now I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't care.
Well, that's what I hate to admit it, but that's what age brings, right?
I know.
I just don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit, but I do Botox on my forehead because
I think most women that do
I
that,
love it.
That
You
or
know.
Restylane, one of those. They all
my
do
one
that.
friend, she owns a place by us in South Hills, and she was
Isn't
like,
that Aqua Blue place, is it?
No.
Do you remember that place?
Yes, I would never go there, but she wanted to put filler. She's like, let's put some filler. I'm like, listen, I don't want to look like a chipmunk. Okay. Because I feel like with being, you know, you and I being on air and people seeing us, our faces, like they're not going to know
Exactly.
Jenny D just got filler because my lips will be out to here.
It's
You
tougher
have
on
nice
women.
lips.
Yeah, I got that's genetics.
I'm
going
going to tell everybody you
I
put
got
filler
lucky.
in there. I say, did you know that Eric McKenna puts filler in his lips?
I don't. Yeah,
But hey, listen, I'm like teach your own. I mean, hey, you may
That
see
does-
me
yeah, that doesn't
next time,
bother
and
me
my
either.
lips might be out to here.
yeah. That stuff doesn't bother me either. I think if people need to do that to make them feel the best version of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how I feel about it,
Right,
doesn't matter. I don't have to live in that skin.
right.
You know.
They have to look in the mirror, and if they're happy with the way
I mean,
they
have you
look,
been to Walmart recently? Have you walked around
I'm
Walmart
scared at Walmart
at night?
I can't. I get scared.
I just told my wife last week we had to stop in there for something for last minute for a party or something, and I'm like, okay, I don't usually have anxiety issues. I really don't, but I could not bear to stand in that place
I
another
know.
minute. People running into me, screaming at the top of their lungs, smell bad.
Yes.
It's like, come on. And I'm not asking a lot.
Right.
I'm not asking you to, I'm not even asking you to bathe before you come. Just be a civil, decent human.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there a lot to
I order
ask?
stuff online now.
That's the only way. Yeah. And how did it get there?
Yeah. It's hard. It's, sometimes, and I feel like some people are just so mean. Like we were talking about this, I think off air, about being kind. I'm trying to spread kindness because
Mm-hmm.
I always say to my kids, treat people how they treat you.
Mm-hmm.
So if if they come off the bat, and this is the other thing I've learned too, and I think you've probably learned this too with podcasting, is you don't know what they're going through that day.
Mm-hmm.
Something could have happened and they're having a bad day. Like if you're at a restaurant and somebody's waiting on you and they're just being like real short with you and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm not giving them a good tip. But then I have to sit back and say, you know
Of
what?
course.
They could be going through something today.
Of course.
And instead of just,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you, soul sister.
okay.
However, what are the odds that, and I go to Walmart today at 3:00, 80% of the store is having a bad day? Does that explain why they're all just rude and ignorant and they smell funny
I
and
hope
they're
not.
screaming at the top of their lungs?
We
and
could do our
there's-
podcast
there's-
there.
You can do. You literally can do your podcast. You're set up to do
There's
that.
a lot of interesting
Could you
people.
imagine? That would be insane.
I know. It would be insane.
Probably would get sued.
Probably.
It'd be, wasn't there that website, The People of Walmart? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, yeah. 10, 12 years ago,
Why
there was a
is
website,
that,
The
though?
People of
Why
Walmart.
is it always Walmart? Like, I get anxiety at Walmart, too. I get anxiety because I don't know where anything is, and things are like...
That contributes to it for me.
Yeah.
And the lanes aren't wide enough.
Yes.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Not
I
enough
do.
rooms. People are banging into each other, and they close all. And now everything is self-checkout. But that's okay. But the self-checkout isn't organized in a way to get people through. There's still a line.
Right.
If there's a line at the self-checkout and a line at the human checkout, I'm going to go to the human all day long because
Me
I
too.
feel if I'm going to go spend $300 at this shit show, someone can wait on me to get me out the door.
Yeah,
I
need
feel that
help.
way. And that's
I always
like,
need help.
well,
Yeah.
my wife feels differently, and I respect that. But it's like we're losing some of the niceties in life. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah, but like talking to people, I agree with you. I like to go to talk to somebody. You know, I'm like, "How are you today?" Oh,
Bingo.
yeah, thanks. You know,
Yeah.
And
especially
what
when
do
they don't want to talk. It's even better.
I know.
How are you?
Yes.
How's your day going? And they don't. All
They
right.
don't make eye contact.
Oh yeah. When's your lunch?
Yes. Yeah. hey, I'll eat lunch with you. Hey, did you watch that show on TV? Yeah. You just start bringing up. I do that sometimes, and I can tell that
We're horrible.
Yes, but you know what? I kind of like that. That was my other thing is when I would go on the trail and I would walk, people don't say hi to each other.
I
anymore.
know.
I mean, it's like
No.
I've got like the plague or something. I'm like, hello.
Did that happen? Do you think because of the pandemic?
No, I think it was that before that.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
People are just afraid to say hi because they're like, oh God, because what if? And then there's times where I say hi, they don't say hi back, and I'm like, and I want to say, well, that was rude, or you can't even say hello. Meanwhile, they probably had headphones.
They didn't hear you. They didn't hear you. You're like
And I'm
cussing
like,
them out. And then they pull a headset and they go, what? Oh, sorry.
I just cussed you out because I was like, what the heck?
5 different
Who do you
languages.
think you are? Do you know I'm Jenny D?
I remember.
Try to pull that card.
I remember Rocco and I both had a very similar circumstance during the pandemic. He went jogging on the track. I went walking on the on the trail, Montour Trail, and both of us had people hide behind trees when we were coming because we weren't wearing masks. They had masks, but they didn't want to be close. So they were hiding behind trees
Oh my goodness!
outside. It was so.
That's bizarre.
No, I didn't care, but I found it extremely bizarre.
Yes. You know what's else is bizarre is somebody driving in the car with a mask on by themselves.
It's still happening.
I'm like, put the windows down.
It's still happening.
Get some fresh air.
It's
Why are you wearing a mask?
It's still happening.
I don't think it's good for you to wear that mask.
I think they've proven it wasn't good.
No,
for me.
you're putting
It
all
didn't- It didn't really save anybody anything either.
Somebody made a lot of money though with those masks. I was buying leopard ones, you know.
Oh, it was a marketing opportunity.
It was
I'll admit I did think about doing it for a while. Like, how much I get these printed with my logo on it?
Yeah.
Maybe should I do that? That might be taking advantage of someone else's misery. I don't know how it's going to be viewed.
There was something on I think it was Chris Rock or somebody, a comedian was talking about when somebody has a mask on, then all of a sudden, I think it was on like Saturday Night Live. They take the mask off and because they look so beautiful. You're like, oh, look at their eyes. And then they take the mask
like a
off.
goat.
They're like, whoa, put the mask back on. You were better looking with the mask on.
Yeah, you look like goats.
Yeah, you're like, oh, shoot. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
It's, we've come a long way though, Eric. We are now.
I hope.
But yeah, I do feel that people are getting, we're starting, there are some great, nice people out there that are truly, the kindness that they spread. And then you are going to find that, and I have to stop, concentrating on the negative.
No, of course, we all do.
Yeah. Like if I think it was, I don't know, last year or something, somebody was doing a podcast and it was just like, right in my neighborhood. and they were doing the same thing I was doing, sort of the same thing. But I realized, I'm like, don't think you're competing. And also, what I think about is like, people are listening because it's you.
Of
People
course.
are listening because it's us, not because it's them. So I had to get out of my head. Who cares?
Yeah, it's such a competitive world, especially since social media is driven it. So
Copycats.
yes, what I find amazing though is to find people in our age genre. She's younger than me.
I'm a baby.
But our genre that not many of us of this particular genre understood and figured out social media. Because social media is a young person's game. Would you not agree?
Yes. I'm in that puddle, or not puddle. I'm in that pond with them, splashing around.
I feel the same way, and I'm comfortable there. It's just interesting to see how a lot of my friends are not.
Right.
Oh
yeah. When I first started though, I felt like I was on my phone more than my kids though. Because I was posting TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
It's a rat race, isn't it?
Facebook. And I was uploading to each one individual and then changing the content and LinkedIn and like doing something different. So it became so overwhelming, and I'm still doing my own social media. So when I do Instagram, it goes right to Facebook, but I just have fun with it. And, sometimes I'll be like, wow, I got a lot of views on that. And I didn't even think I would get any views, but it's a mastermind that I will never figure out. That's for sure.
Yeah. The moment I started caring about, this is going to sound crazy. The moment I stopped caring about the growth of my show, the moment I said, I'm going to do this until it's not fun anymore. And I started having a blast, and everything just started to fall into place. The guests got better. The conversations got better. The viewership, I could see statistically when I would glance at that, a couple times a week, I could see, wow, I don't understand why it's happening, but it's happening. But when I was trying to craft it into some kind of financial enterprise, I was just treading water. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I let go of that. And it was ironic at the time that Rocco started being a recurring guest on my show every couple of months. And then I would bounce these ideas off with him. And I go, I just want to be free to do what I want to do. I've saved up a little money so I can afford to do this hobby at the time.
Right.
So let me just do it the way I want to. If people resonate with it, great. I'll keep doing it as long as I'm getting something from it. If they resonate, great. If they listen, don't, it's okay too. I'll quit when I want to quit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And here I am, 6 years, we're still doing it. I don't get it.
Yes. Hey, you've got a great thing going here, and
it's fun.
And listen, that's what I always said. If this becomes a job for me, then I don't want to do it anymore. I love what I do, and I don't want to worry. That's why it's so nice to have Mike Kelly, because I don't want to worry about all that other stuff, sending out emails, trying to get sponsors. I don't want to do all that, because I want to just focus on my content and just like putting things out there and being the entertainer, and just like, that was my goal. It's just to bring things out there that, are some serious things. You to talk about a lot of health issues, because people are crying for help when it comes to like, they don't even know the signs anymore. Sometimes it's scary. Yeah. So I'm like, I got to get this out there. But I realized, like you said, I'll have people say to me, well, how many followers do you have? And I'm like, I have no idea. I just know that it's still going.
And that's the best answer. I got that from the very beginning. Like,
how would you even know?
And I used to try to get, in the beginning, the first year, I was getting all backed into a corner, and I'm like, well, and I tried to explain. I just started, and and after I quit worrying about that, and my answer is, I don't pay any attention, and no one believed me. I don't even think Rocco believed me until he did my second show with me. And he's like, hey, that show on Facebook, a couple thousand views that we did. I'm like, he goes, you really don't know. I go, I know it's there, and I know if a couple extra clicks, I can get all of that stuff. Yeah. But I'm having a blast, and my real estate business is still fantastic. I'm not struggling financially, and I'm having a ball.
Yes.
That's all I care about.
Do you know what I mean? That's all life's about. Like, I don't want to have regrets. Uh-huh. I was thinking about another movie. What movie is it where he has a tattoo that says
no regrets?
I laugh because that's something I would do. That's
Do
something.
you think those are real?
I don't know, but they're
Some of them look pretty real to me.
I know. So I just feel like you're right.
Right.
I'm so I get so tired of people saying, "Well," and I found out this. I never knew this, and this is pretty. I cannot believe people would do this. I would never. They buy followers.
That's a thing.
I think that's crazy.
That's a thing. I think they fall off over time because they're not real. They're either bots or they're people in Uganda or something. I mean, in the end, a lot of people making a lot of money on the web. I will not be one of them.
Right.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like if it comes to me, Jenny, I'll take the
well,
money.
no one's not going to take that money. But
Right.
it's like, that's not my obsession.
Right.
You know? Now, I have no problem with people that want to. I think Rocco's got like 400,000 Instagram followers. That's, that will provide you some kind of residual income that I can guarantee he's not paying attention to.
Right.
So, but I don't begrudge anyone any success. If tomorrow, if ABC gave you a talk show based upon that, I'd be the first person going, that is amazing.
Right.
It does not.
And even if they follow you, like if you look, I'll look at some of the reels or some of the record, and I'll see that they had 20 views or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so those followers, sometimes they follow once and then you don't see them again. But it's so hard because it's like, when I tried to get this one guy on, he was he's all over Instagram. He talks about self-help and, I can't even. So I messaged his marketing person. He goes, well, how many followers do you have? And I was like, wow. And he looked on my social media and he was like, oh, you don't have enough followers. I'm like, what? I'm like, you know what? Then that shows me that you're all about the money and that you don't want to put content out to my listeners and viewers. You don't want to address my audience.
Bingo.
I was so mad about that, Eric.
And it's a lesson to learn. I
wanted to get on my soapbox and be like, listen to this, people, but I didn't want to be ranting. And
here's a good one. You'll appreciate this. I had a guy on who was great. He was wrote a book, self-help guy. Super guy. I liked him. 8 months went back. I was ready for round 2. I guess his wife or someone was handling the PR. And we were right in the middle of the pandemic. And I said, what's the odds over the next 6 months get you scheduled to come in again? Well, we're going to send you a form. So I filled out this form. Like, I should just. My gut reaction is, I ain't filling out my fucking form. I'm not doing it. Yeah, and this guy doesn't get it. I just don't care enough. I did it. I filled it out. And they came back and said, well, you're like what we call a second tier podcast. I mean, you've got a good amount of followers. They're giving me a dissertation of how I'm valued in there. There was 4 levels.
Wow.
There's first tier, second tier, third, and fourth. I made it all the way to the bottom of the second tier, and she's giving me this dissertation on their grading. And this is a guy who's not. Most people would not know who this guy is. He doesn't have this big time.
You're not that great, okay?
But you don't want to say that to
Right.
them. But in my head, I'm going, dude, get a grip, man.
Yes.
I don't care enough.
No, and
We
and
had a
people
good
don't
conversation.
care.
I want you to come back. That's all. If you
Right.
say no, I'm totally good with that. I'm not giving it another thought. I'm on to the next thing.
You're giving them a platform to talk. I mean, what more do you want? That's my hardest thing is that, we're providing this platform. Why wouldn't you want to take that and talk?
Well, I think a lot of the statistics, like you mentioned earlier, I think they're all bullshit. I think there are so many people running around with
fake accounts, fake this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to, in the end, like in business, it was always about, are you making money or are you not making money? If the goal of any enterprise is to make money, then the rest of the stuff around it, I mean, the .com bubble happened because people were buying businesses based upon things not relative to money in the bank. They were
right.
Well, we're trending here and we're doing this and we've got this many followers and this many likes, but it wasn't currency.
Yeah.
I think South Park did an episode on this 15 years ago about, this influencer's worth how much money? If there were this many artificial dollars and this artificial dollars, I mean, it's like, come on, get a grip.
I know.
Get a grip.
Yeah, and you can really get in your head in this industry because,
it's ridiculous.
It is. And sometimes, like, I remember going to an event and they were giving out awards to people, and I felt like they were just giving it out to their friends. They're like, oh, and you get an award, and they're all like, this is my plaque because I'm the #1 podcaster in in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, oh, okay, well,
you can be anything you want because if you
whatever
award you want, I'll make it for you and give it to you.
I'll make my own plaque.
That's what I'm saying. It's like yeah.
It's hard because, people, I don't want to be patted on the back, but I want to feel validated, that people are listening and they do
that
enjoy.
There's worth.
Yeah, that there's worth, that they enjoy what I'm doing. I do, love that when I run into somebody, they're like, oh my God, I listened to your podcast, I follow you. I'm like, oh
that
my
feels
gosh,
good.
thank you.
It does, yeah.
I appreciate you.
I can't. Yes.
I really do.
Yes. I used to be embarrassed by that. I didn't know how to react. And now once in a while, Natalie and I'll be at dinner or I'll be out, shopping. And, hey, you're that, I just watched so-and-so on your show, blah, blah, blah.
It's a great
And I'm like,
feeling.
oh, yeah, I don't even have anything canned to what I should be saying. I just kind of stumble through my words and then that's it.
Eric, it's a great feeling. And, not to go back on this, but I wanted to tell you this. So back in, I think it was August, probably a year ago, I went and got a mammogram.
Okay.
And my mom's sister, my dad's sister both had breast cancer, but they survived. My cousin had it too. She's all good. But they saw a mass on the right side. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, I need to be real with my people. So I came on, I did a reel. I said, hey guys, I had to go back there. I got to get an MRI now. They think they found a mass on the right side. I was flooded with messages. Are you okay? What's going on? Are you okay? The whole month of October, and I'm doing it again this year, I talked about breast cancer and I St. Clair. That's where I go. And then we partnered and just from what they know from their hospital, 6 women came to the hospital and got a mammogram because they heard my podcast.
See, that is value.
I started to cry.
That's
Eric,
value. That's value.
because I was like, oh my God, it's working. Because I am trying, I'm trying to be that person who's going through it that, please get that mammogram, don't wait because you just don't know. And, I was really scared to put it out there and be vulnerable myself. But you know what I realized? That could have helped somebody.
And that's value.
Yes.
And how much does that?
I don't care about the followers.
Bingo. The rest of it is all noise.
Nope.
That's noise. That's not currency.
Right.
The value of helping another human, that's the currency.
Yes. And we're both like that.
You have to feel it. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. We did a couple of shows on drug addiction, which is a hard one for me because I lost my brother to it many, 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 many years ago.
So
but
sorry.
it's hard to, but for me, I just knew the value of it.
Yeah.
It's like, and we're never really going to know if it reached how many people. But the point is, you're trying.
Yes.
And I think if we stop trying because we don't think it's helpful, then we know one thing for certain: nobody's going to get helped.
Right.
Right,
because you don't know who it's affecting,
Correct.
who it's reaching at that time. And
Correct.
when I found that out, I thought, okay, this is working. This is working, Jen. Whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm putting out there, people are listening and they're like, you know what? They're like, hey, why'd you come in today? Well, I heard Jenny D's podcast and I was like, what? And I feel like as humans too, our right is to kind of help each other out. Why are we, I almost felt like, and this is another topic and we don't have to get into that today, but with hormonal changes, with the women going through perimenopause, I started doing Menopause Mondays, where I started in March before Oprah did. But anyway, women aren't talking about it. Doctors aren't talking about it,
right.
And I'm not blaming anybody because we're just not educated enough on it. But women have been suffering in silence about it.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, the views, when I put my first podcast out there about menopause, because I talked to a nurse practitioner, she was a menopause specialist. She talked about what are the symptoms. There's 80 symptoms.
Damn.
So when women are like, oh, I didn't go through it, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah. But it starts in your 40s. Could start in your 30s. But nobody talks about it. So there's things out there that I feel like, as, humans, we need to talk about these things.
Yeah, it takes a courageous person to willing to start the conversation.
Right.
That's the thing.
Women my age, okay, 29. I already said 40.
She's really 31.
I'm going backwards. My birthdays go backwards.
I wish it worked that way. I wanted it to work that way so bad.
Darn it. But, you realize that what are you trying to hide? Like, I thought the M word, menopause, meant you're an old lady.
I get it.
So I never wanted to talk about it. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's a one-day thing that you go through, and, but it's for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. It's for the rest of your life. And I think, in that men's hormones change. I've talked to a lot of hormone health places now, because I'm like, all right, come on, people. We really need to, like we were talking off air, you've been really tired lately. So you could be lacking testosterone, or, you know what I mean? I am now a health official here. Okay. Talk to Jen. Remember Dr. Ruth? Oh, wait.
No,
she talked about sex.
Dr. Ruth Westheimer, remember her?
I'm Dr.
She was
Jenny
a fire plug, man. She was a fire plug.
She
Holy
was.
crap.
I know, but she had her own niche. But yeah, it's almost like I want to be that advocate. When I see somebody, I talk to somebody. Hey, you need to go get your hormones checked. Hey, check this.
But also you are also feeling a better quality of your own life by helping other people, and that is so misunderstood.
Right.
It's like when people see other people experiencing joy at things they love to do, and it's tied to service of others, a lot of the public doesn't get it. Mm-mm. They don't get it.
No,
they don't.
They don't. And what's on the news, and that was my industry, broadcasting, and I do watch the news just so I'm up on what's going on. But been, it's so depressing. And sometimes I just want to take the TV and be like, why are you talking about this? Is not news. Like, why are you making us more afraid of everything?
Do you believe that, well, let me ask you this question. We'll get a little philosophical before we wrap it up. We got to get you on a panel show here. I think it'll be fun. I love that. But we go deep. So I
can go deep.
All right. The thing is, with your voice for certain, do you think that, well, let me put it this way. Does AI frighten you?
It does.
Why? Why does it frighten you?
I just saw something about how if I'm talking to you right now and you're videotaping me, you can put words in my mouth that I didn't say, and that could ruin me.
We don't do that around here, but yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I don't have that kind of technology anyway.
Me neither.
It sounds fascinating, though.
Right. But, maybe it's good for some kind of things out there, but for that, like identity theft and all that, that scares me. Because they can hack into all these. That's what really scares me, though, with that. What about you? Does it scare you?
Oh, yeah, in a lot of different ways. But I'm afraid that at some point in time, the technology is going to get so good that we can't determine reality from virtual.
Yes.
Like, this is real. This is all inanimate objects. Yes. We're physically here. And it sounds corny because I think we're probably a couple decades away. But at some point, I think that through technology, whether we start wearing glasses around, and we're going to start blending the physical world with the virtual world, and we're not going to be able to tell the difference. And all the things that we believe, all the bedrock pillars of society to keep us safe.
Right.
If we start not believing our reality, or we don't know what to believe is real anymore, then who's going to pay attention to laws? Who's going to pay attention to order, or societal order? I think so.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's a whole nother deep conversation. This is the kind of conversation we'll go down a rabbit hole and we'll just have a blast with it. But I think with every technology there comes good and bad, right?
Exactly. But I'm just thankful for this technology of podcasting and
just
being
natural rapping
a
stuff,
part of your show.
Bring it right back around. I didn't even have to do it.
You're probably sick of hearing from me.
That was good.
No, what?
Good.
I just enjoyed being on the other side, being the guest today.
I bet.
Because I do, like I was telling you, sometimes.
But you still interviewed me halfway through the show.
I did. I
did way more talking than I wanted to.
I know. Listen, I do that. Because you know what? I want to know about you too, because this is the first time that we sat down.
I understand.
And really got to know each other. And that to me, like, I don't want to be that person. I hate those people that you meet. And I've met I'm not going to say a lot. I've met probably a handful of women in the networking business, because there's a lot of women networking, which I kind of haven't been doing as much like I used to. But there are women, you would meet them. And, when you go to meet someone, oh, hi, what do you do? Blah, 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 blah. Right. They're on their soapbox. Oh, that's great. Then they walk away. Don't even ask what you do.
That's most of society.
And I'm not like that, though. I want to know about you, too. You know what I mean?
You're too inquisitive. And that's why I think that's what happens. I think those types of people are the finest podcasters in the world. The ones that are genuinely curious about other people. You have to have it, I think, to make it. I mean, because if you're not curious, then there are podcasters
like to hear themselves talk, not us.
I am telling you, and I love everybody, but I watch and I observe a lot, and I've seen a lot of podcasters in this town, some known, some not. Mm-hmm. But the entire time they have a guest on, it really is verbal combat.
Yes. I was on a podcast and they were interviewing me. They talked the whole time. I remember back when I was like, okay, that was, I think, like it had not, I wasn't even on it. And people noticed that.
Happened to me
people noticed
multiple
that.
times.
And they said to me, Jen, he just monopolized the whole conversation.
Won't let you talk.
And wouldn't let you talk. And I was like, I recognize that, but it's his show. I'm not going to,
You have to pull away with that understanding. It's a hard one because I felt like I wasted 2 hours of my life. You wanted me there, but you really didn't want me there. You just wanted my face. You wanted my physical being there for whatever reasons, but you wanted an opportunity to talk more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because somehow they believe that there's these thousands and millions of people that are just hanging on every word they say.
No. Get off your soapbox. Their heads are so big they can't walk through the door.
Yeah,
forget about it.
There's a lot, but I think I think it is human nature. So I give people grace when they start that they'll figure it out, but some don't.
And I can tell that you and I have a good, is it banter? Or canter, banter. Like we go back and forth, and I like this. So
it's the Italian in us.
It is the Italian. What's the matter for you? I feel like if you're listening or you're viewing this right now, like if you think that this, Eric and I should do something more often, like I would
tell her.
I would be open to that. Yes, I need some hot pink in here that plays. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. This is your
pink decor to the room.
I'll bring a pink microphone.
You know what? They make them like that.
No, this is your beautiful place, and I'm just happy to be here and talking to you.
It meant a lot to me. You did it.
It's great.
It's a commitment of time. So when someone comes, I guess what I tell my guests are, if I invite you here, it's not me or anything that's special. It's just that you are absolutely wanted here, meaning that I will not spend time with people that I don't want to be with.
Right.
It's a commitment. Time's too valuable now.
It is too valuable. You're right.
Especially as old as I am. It's just, I only got a finite amount of time left, so I want to be there. Because it wouldn't be fair to the other person either. Like I don't want to
waste their time.
I'll leave it. I'll put it this way: if Pittsburgh had the world champion of ping pong, and they happen to live, let's say, in Swickley, and let's say they're just known for being the number one ping pong player in the world, just happens to live in Swickley, I think it's amazing. I'll probably watch it on the news and go, yeah, that's a cool story. It's not for me.
Right.
They could be right across the river here.
Yeah.
They could even be real conversational and personable. But if I'm not interested in ping pong,
right.
I don't want to do them. I don't want to do them a disservice either, because I'm not going to be at my best if I'm not really invested in it. You know what I mean?
I totally get what you mean. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know coming into this. I just knew that I'm like, he's a really nice guy. I see what you put out there, and I love the content, and I love because you and I both like the idea of not having a script and just kind of, and I knew this was going to go really well, and I know we could be talking for days.
Yeah,
and,
there's a lot of I
we have a lot in common. It's nice to talk to another podcaster and realize that it's tough. It's tough some days. We try to do the best we can. We're only human. We're just trying to get that content out there and help people if they need anything, or just give them some entertainment.
Podcasters make great guests generally.
Yes.
podcasting guests. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
they really
get it. They get it.
Yeah. All right, we'll do more of this. This was great.
Yay!
I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. The panel shows will be a blast, and we'll do round 2
I'm
for
excited.
sure.
I'm excited.
I got some ideas. All right. Jenny D,
Thank you, everybody.
we are out.
Bye.
Until next time.